There we go. Someone noticed they can't hear me. Hopefully they can hear me now, and hopefully everything's going smooth. So I apologize for that. Like I said, it's it's Monday morning. It's Monday morning, so hopefully everybody can hear me now, and chime in if you can. But I'm going to repeat myself, talking about a delicate topic that a lot of people often maybe misinterpret. They don't understand. They think it should be a simple answer to get out, and that is in an abusive relationship or, abusive domestic violence situation. So we're going to get in talking about this delicate topic where a lot of people, they have a hard time maybe understanding, hard time dealing with, and it's one of those situations that I work with a lot, and I have a lot over the years, and it's not a comforting situation, okay? So hopefully, not only if it will help you in this situation, but also if you are, how can I say this? If you have a friend or family member that's in an abusive situation, a lot of people are going to jump right in and say, get the hell out. Hurry up and get out. A lot of people do not understand the context of a, abusive relationship. And we're going to talk about, there are different types of abuse, as people know. There's physical, there's emotional abuse, verbal abuse, all those type of aspects where a lot of people don't understand. Well, words, you look at it and words don't hurt, right? Words are a situation to, they only hurt. They don't break your bones. They're not bruises, whatever. And you talk to a lot of people in abusive situations, and they say the words, the bruises might go away, okay? They might heal. But the words and the emotional abuse and the domestic violence situations, they say it takes them so long, if ever, to heal. And I work with, of course, the emotional aspects, and I want people to get out of abusive situations and relationships. It's not that evening. Hey, Adrian, welcome. It is not an easy situation to deal with, okay? And a lot of people, even in this field, okay, in a professional field, you're going to have counselors that are going to tell their clients, first session, hurry up, get the hell out, get the kids, get the hell out, okay? Hurry up and leave, okay? So you're the professional. I have to listen to you, and you must know what you're doing type of thing. So all of a sudden, the person in an abusive situation, all of a sudden they get the kids, they hurry up, they leave, and all of a sudden they have no money, okay? They have no gas money, okay? Well, I got that covered, no big deal, right? The therapist told me, you know what? Go to a homeless shelter, go to a women's domestic violence shelter, okay? And there's men in abusive situations too. It's not only women that are the victims, okay? So, therapist told me to go, okay, I got it down. I ran out of gas, I have no money, and I have kids, and it's the dead of winter, and we're freezing our butt off. I'll just, I got my cell phone still. I'm going to get a hold of a domestic violence shelter and a homeless shelter. Would be big deal, right? I have no relatives around. The therapist didn't even ask you that, right? Do you have friends? Do you have relatives? A lot of abusive situations, they're going to isolate their partner, okay? They're going to isolate friends, family, if they're even around. They want that. They want that control. So, okay, I'm calling up the domestic violence shelter. I'm calling up a homeless shelter. I have no friends, relatives. I'm out of money. So, and all of a sudden they tell you they're booked. They're filled. They can't take you. Now, what the hell do you do? The therapist didn't tell you that, right? They didn't tell you. They didn't prepare you, and shame on them. This is where I have a huge issue, and it frustrates and annoys the hell out of me that you have people in these situations, they have no clue. They don't prepare you for consequences in an abusive situation. A lot of people don't understand. You know what? Get the hell out. Okay. A lot of times, maybe the family is not around. Okay. There's no family. There's no friends. Maybe in certain abusive situations, not all, where the family, maybe you're not working, you have no money. He or she controls all that money, and I did say he or she, okay? So now you're left with, what do I do, okay? I want people to prepare themselves. I want you, if you have no friends, no family, relatives, I'm all about calling a domestic violence helpline, absolutely, and get help. Prepare yourself, the ins and outs, what could happen. I want people to be prepared for the bad. I don't want the bad to happen, but I want you aware of it and what you can do in case it does happen. And, a lot of people don't understand. They just tell you, oh, I'd get the hell out of that situation. Well, let's see. I have kids, young kids. I have no money. What do I do? And a lot of people are going to say, well, you put yourself in that situation. I've heard this over and over again. And I end up, getting so upset and irritated about people. And I try to think to myself, I catch my breath, these people mean well. They want you safe, they want you secure. I want that too. However, you need, as Adrian mentioned on the chat, you need an exit plan. You need a situation to, prepare yourself. Call a domestic violence, hotline or, shelter, domestic violence shelter in your area, at least to see if they have room. And if they don't, they might be able to find room for you, okay? So you need to be able to be prepared for yourself physically, emotionally, especially if you have kids. It's not easy. You have no money, no food. What do? Okay? You need to be prepared for this. And a good counselor should clue you into this. You know what? What happens if you do run out of gas? And the domestic violence shelters are full. Homeless shelters are full. You have no friends, no family, because you know what? They don't want to be involved. They don't want to ruin their lives either, right? Or get involved type of thing. And, you're going to have friends. You're going to have family members. I'll be there. I'll have your back. But when it comes down to it, they might turn their back on you. What then? You get me? A good counselor, good therapist is going to prepare you for these situations. You know what? Will a, personal protection order, no contact order, will that help? It can help, okay? And I'm going to when I'm talking about a PPO, you need proof. You need evidence of this. And it's very, very difficult, if you have cuts and bruises, those type of thing, you take pictures, right, and call police. It's visual evidence. It might be easier, right? But the verbal and emotional abuse, it's not that easy. It turns into a tit for tat. And I know Adrian's an attorney in Macomb County, and he'll tell you about evidence, about, the tit for tat that people go, and the law knows this, right? It's hearsay, right? His word against your word or her word against your word type of aspect. And there's people out there that will falsely accuse somebody for abusive domestic violence situations, right? We all know this. And it's a very dicey situation, and people don't understand the emotional toll and the emotional tug of war it takes on this, okay? So you need yourself prepared. If you do have evidence, call police. Try to get a personal protection order, against that person. Big time. Not always easy. And, I'm going to tell you, the police are going to tell you, it's a legal formality. If someone wanted to harm you, a personal protection order, you know what? It's a piece of paper. They're not going to, it might not help somebody if your life isn't if your life is threatened. There we go. If you're afraid, and that leads me into abusive relationship situations. You heard me say at the beginning, right? Most people, friends, family, if they are around, are going to tell you, just get the hell out, just leave, okay? It's very, it's not that easy emotionally, okay? And I address fears of people leaving these situations. It could be the fear of being alone. And a lot of people will laugh and joke and, oh, fear of being alone, that's it. You'd rather be in that situation. You're not living in that situation, okay? So I address the fears. And I talk about, I don't use a lot of psychobabble. People that know me, I don't use a lot of psychobabble, textbook verbiage to help my clients. But I'm a huge advocate of the pain-pleasure principle, okay? Most people, we are going to deal with something that is less painful, right? Okay, the old scenario, we have two choices, okay? Both of them suck. Which one are we going to take? We're going to take the one that is less painful, okay? Or that we, maybe realize in our mind or fantasize in our mind that it's going to be less painful in the long run. We try to rationalize that, right? Okay, so I'm a huge fan of that, and that's usually what holds us back. So people in abusive relationships, right? It might be more painful to leave than to stay, even getting abused, okay? And people, I want you to realize this, okay? That pain of being alone is a lot worse than staying in that situation. Again, it's not for me or anybody else to judge. It's just one of those things, okay? Also, you might be afraid that that person is going to kill you. Yes, there are women perpetrators of domestic violence. I can tell you stories of witnessing and seeing bite marks where pieces of meat are tore off from a guy's arm, neck, chest region, okay? Actually, pieces of meat are from women, okay? And the guy didn't, the woman was just ticked. He didn't cheat. Not that that's justified, but there are women out there that have anger issues, and that will go berserk and try stabbing, whatever, and it's not justified. It's not a matter of self-defense, okay? So it's both genders. So the fear of getting killed, okay? So that's going to keep me, it's better than, getting killed and, having him or her end up with the kids or maybe a prison, then the kids are in foster care because there's no relatives around to care for the kids, right? And I can't do that to my kid. So these are all legitimate fears that people face, okay? Fear of being alone, fear of, getting killed, and then thinking about, okay, what happens to the kids, who killed me? They're probably going to find out and end up putting him or her in prison for the rest of their life. And now there's nobody to raise the kids, so what do? I don't want them in foster care, right? So this is a legitimate fear in abusive situations that people don't realize, and it's something to think about. So I want you well prepared emotionally, physically. Another fear is, I have no money and I'm not going to be able to make it on my own. I'm not going to be able to make it with the kids. I'm not going to, how can I afford this or whatever? I have no help, whatever. And that's legitimate. And then what do? This is where I want, domestic violence helplines and everything to be in place that you can call and contact and try to get that help. Even, if you're afraid that your phone is bugged. Yes, it does happen, okay? If your cell phone is bugged, you can email those type of situations and try to get some help that way. I'm worried my phone might be bugged, whatever. I'm not really, that tech savvy to find out or check that out, but I want a safe place to talk and communicate, okay? You need to reach out, either, email. If your phone is not bugged or whatever, call domestic violence helplines, okay? This is an awareness. I don't want you to be in an abusive situation, but I also know it's not an easy situation to get yourself out of. And it's easy for, maybe if you do have a friend around or a relative or neighbor, they don't get it if they have not been there. They have not been in that situation before to where, it's easy, just leave. I would leave. You're not in that situation. So it is not as easy as a lot of people think. They haven't been there. They haven't realized or experienced those situations, the emotional fear and the psychological impact and emotional impact that being in an abusive relationship occurs. Now, I am going to come back with a situation, okay? Isolated incidents do happen, okay? There are, verbal altercations that occur. There are, maybe a physical push and pull back and forth in a fight and argument. I'm going to repeat this, I never ever condone physical or verbal violence, abuse, whatever, okay? There is a difference between an isolated, one-time situation, again, it should never happen, and being in an abusive situation, okay? I want to stress that. And it seems like even, now it's getting better, but a lot of people might, be in a situation where, a woman, there's some women out there that will, slap and punch and kick and just are mean. And the guy, their partner doesn't do anything, doesn't fight back, doesn't do anything. And a lot of people, it's very, very embarrassing for a lot of men in these situations, okay? And you realize if you're a man in this situation, you know, what would you do? And, you know, there's so much attention on, you know, the women victims. Yes, there are a lot more women victims than men, but there's a lot more men out there in domestic violence and abusive situation than you realize, okay? And I don't, you know, a lot of people, oh, you're the man, you should be able to take it. It's not that easy, you know, and then it becomes emasculating, right? I'm a guy and I'm getting abused by a woman. How, you know, I'm supposed to be a manly man and deal with this. Oh, it's only words. I shouldn't, you know, I should be able to take it. When you're getting called, you know, a low-life loser piece of da-da-da-da-da on a daily basis, and also you're worried about your kids, you're worried about financial situations. You know what? The same worries could be the same for either gender, okay? For men and women. So you look at, again, you try to get the help. Yes, reach out to domestic violence helplines in your area, in your county, okay? Every county in the U.S. has them. And I know, you know, England, Canada, Europe, a lot of places in Europe have them now too. But reach out and try to prepare yourself. Hey, I'm in this situation. I have no money. And then I want you to be able to, you know, try to make plans, that exit plan that Adrian mentioned in the chat below, that, you know what do I do in that situation to prepare yourself and to protect yourself, protect your kids emotionally, physically, and also, you know, try to financially. And it's hard if you're not working. You don't have any income coming in, and the money is all controlled by one person. Again, it's not an easy situation, but explain your situation, and they will hopefully be able to help you. I can't guarantee that, okay? But at least it's a starting point. And, you know, reach out. Be humble. Don't be embarrassed, because there are, you know, millions of people that have endured abusive physically, emotionally situations, you know, over a lifetime, you know, over frickin' since time began, unfortunately, okay? So you're not alone. And a lot of people realize, you know what, I'm alone, no one's going to get it, no one's going to understand me. There are people that will understand what you go through, the fears that you endure, and the sense of you know, self-worth and your self-esteem that ends up being in the toilet, okay? So if you do have friends, if you do have family members, try to reach out, okay? I'm not going to say they're going to be there, because a lot of people, oh, I don't want any drama in my house, so you know what, you need to leave it alone. It happens, but I'm here to prepare you. I hope it doesn't, but at least you're making an effort to get yourself out of that situation, okay? In very severe you know, abusive situations, they're going to want to, you know, probably control every move you make, right? They're not going to want to see you talk to a therapist or counselor, okay? They're not going to want you to reach, they're not going to want, because, right, they might be losing that control over you, and they're not getting what they want anymore, so the abuse is going to become even more so, okay? As the threat increases of you leaving, chances are the domestic violence or the abuse is going to increase. I'm just letting you aware. So you need to be very careful and sort of being subtle and prepare yourself to exit that situation. Even get a hold of an attorney. Adrian's an attorney. You know, there's even, you know, legal aid, and there's, you know, different, most counties in the U.S., I can't say all, but most counties in the U.S. have victims' rights at their county court buildings, okay? They have victim right advocacy that is there to help you, and I know the politics, you know, the politics involved, whatever, but they're going to have resources that you can, you know, so reach out. They're going to understand the fears and insecurities that you have about even making it on your own financially, and also the safety for you and your children, okay? So reach out, you know, look at yourself, and okay, I'm in this abusive situation, and I'm not talking, you know, an isolated situation. You get called a name or something, oh, you're abusing me. That's very subjective, okay? Now I'm talking when it's a bona fide, legitimate, clinical abusive situation, okay? Yes, one incident is too much, okay? I get that. However, isolated incidences do occur. I never justify them, but that doesn't mean the marriage or relationship is in a devastating situation, okay? There can be genuine remorse shown, and that needs to be shown. And not, okay, you show genuine remorse and guilt and it happens again, right? The abusive situation, the physical altercations. Oh, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. People that have been in abusive situations, they know where I'm coming from, okay? They hear the promises. They hear the broken promises. They hear the words. They might even see the tease. Oh, I'm so sorry, I won't ever do it again. I won't do it again. Then it happens again. No, I won't do it again. I won't do it again. I'll be good. I'll be better. Don't leave. And all of a sudden, bam, it happens again. You get where I'm going with this. You look at the pattern of those behaviors. You look at the patterns that's going on, and I want you to trust your gut instinct and say, you know what? I'm not dealing with this anymore. I deserve something a lot better. I deserve to be healthy physically, emotionally, and not have to worry about getting my butt beat or getting emotionally bashed and belittled and abused on a daily basis, okay? And I'm going to tell you a little thing that's going to help you out to make being in an abusive situation maybe less painful. I brought up worried about the kids, right? What are you teaching your kids by being in that situation? What are you teaching your kids by being in the situation of being abused, physically, emotionally, domestic violence situation? You're teaching your kids, right? Don't do it, don't be in this, don't be in this. But it's what you show people, okay? It's your actions. It's what you do to stay in it, okay? Don't teach your kids this. And I'm going to give you a piece of advice as well. You know what? This is not to scare you. I'm being honest with you, okay? I've been, dealing with clients for a long time in this situation to where, you know what? If someone finds out it's a domestic violence or you're in an abusive situation, okay, and you have kids, and say the school finds out, a relative finds out, a neighbor finds out, you have the opportunity to have your kids removed from you. I'm being honest. I'm being real with you. I don't want that to happen. So that's something for you to think about too, okay? So Child Protective Services can come in. If you remain in an abusive situation, they're going to say, you know what, you're neglecting and you're putting your kids in that situation, even though they might not be physically in that, they're emotionally being abused too. So that's something for you to think about, okay? And again, I'm not, I'm not being a jerk. I'm helping you. I'm being real of the consequences of these situations. And I can tell you, years ago, I had somebody I tried to help in an abusive situation for a lot of years, okay? And had kids, like 12 years old on down, okay? And, would, get beat by her ex-husband now. Get beat, ripped apart emotionally, verbally, almost on a daily basis, okay? She never called cops because her mother-in-law, okay? Her mother-in-law would tell her, well, that's your husband. You don't do that to family. You don't ever call the cops on family, da-da-da. And was manipulated and, belittled and low self-esteem. You don't want to tear the, family apart. And here, it's a woman telling another woman this to protect her son, right? And I told her what's going to happen. You're going to go to court and, you're going to be in this situation. And I want you prepared. I hope it doesn't happen. I want you prepared, though. The judge, you know what? And I knew it happened to be a female judge at the time, and it doesn't matter if it's male or female. They're going to ask you, you know what, all of a sudden, you never called the cops. You have no proof, right, of domestic violence situation. And the judge is going to say, you have no proof, never called the cops. You know what? Maybe you're an unfit mother because you had the kids in that situation for so long. Maybe you deserve to have the kids taken away from you if this situation has occurred for that long. The judge has a point, right? And I'm not bashing. Again, I'm trying to help you in these situations. So, you know what? Try to make staying in an abusive situation, okay, more painful than getting the hell out. Okay? And I'm not talking an isolated situation. And I do not want to get taken out of context on this, people, to where, oh, I heard Greg, I listened to Greg, you said an abusive situation. You called me a bad husband. You called me, and all of a sudden, you called me this, you're abusing me. There's a big difference, okay? A big difference, people. So I do not want things to be twisted or taken out of context that I'm trying to help you with, okay? I never ever condone people using domestic violence or abuse as and they lie about it, that they are being abused or being, to justify getting out of a relationship or trying to get the court in their favor with custody, and they lie and they deceive and they to get their way. Hell no. I'm not about that at all, nor should you ever do that, okay? There are situations, I know, that people do that because it's all about winning. It's all about playing the victim role. And here, you know what? They're the ones that, they're not great people at all. That's a long shot, okay? So look at it to where, what is more painful, to stay in that situation versus getting out of that situation, that abusive situation, okay? And, right before I leave, sorry, again, share the live video on your timeline for a chance to win my ebook, The Relationship Guide, Tools to Ignite Love and Intimacy, okay? And again, the paperback right here it's available on Barnes & Nobles and Amazon.com. And after the show, I will announce last week's winners. I didn't get a chance last Friday to announce it. I was swamped with clients. But I'll announce last week's winners of the ebook, and then I'll private message those with the PDF file of that, okay? So any questions you have, let me know. Private message me. Any topic ideas, let me know. Join the discussion below. And you can also, find a lot more information about me, my programs, at theartofrelationships.org. That's that's A-R-T, of relationships.org. Okay? Thank you for listening, for the support. I'll be here again live tomorrow, Tuesday, 12 noon Eastern Time. Everybody take care. Keep spreading the love and peace.